Many years ago, I put together a lesson on Lindsay Buckingham's tune, Never Going Back Again. And it was in not the tuning, not the way he did it originally, but in a way I'd been teaching it to students because it was a little easier to play, not as big as stretches. And it really didn't change any of the notes he played, but it did make for the tuning to be a little bit more complicated, where you have to tune the 6th string down to C and the 5th string down to G, and then put a capo at the 6th fret. And it avoids this really nasty stretch that he pulls off in that little part. Well, it makes it a little bit easier. Makes it a lot easier, actually. And and then I got some requests from people to. He started adding a solo to it, a short little solo. And somehow I just never got around to it, because also you can't really do that in the other tuning as much as well. So, and then recently I had a student say, hey, why can't we just do this in drop D at the 4th fret the way he really did it? And I said, well, because it's got some big stretches in it. He says, I can do it, I can do it. So we got working on it. And then I thought, I need to add this to the lesson that I did. It had to be 10 years ago. It was like the really early days of TG. And here it is, 2023 now. I'm finally getting around to the real way Lindsay played it and adding the little solo to it. So I've got a separate piece of tab for this that shows how it's done. Basically, you need to keep this bar at the 2nd fret for all of the first little section. And sometimes you're going to mostly bar the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th strings. Other times you're just going to bar the top 3 strings. And this is going to be one of the real big reveals about this song, is that if you try to keep the bar across all 4 all the time, you'll make it even more difficult. So the secret's going to be focus on barring 3 strings and not worrying about the first sometimes, and barring the top 3 with the same joint, same part of your finger. So that's what we're going to be talking about here. We'll break down the solo and break down the differences in the high part. Is exactly the same. Nothing's different there. The first part has a little bit of trickier fingering, and then the little part where it goes to the B minor is a little trickier too, because we have to do that with a full bar. So a couple of new segments added to our very old lesson, and give you a chance to tackle Never Going Back Again the real way.